Hey guys, I'm back. I kind of wanted to start from the beginning. So I kind of want to start over with talking about bipolar. I really wasn't prepared when I did my last video, and I don't know if I'm prepared now, but I kind of wanted to start from the beginning. I kind of wanted to give you an intro, kind of a 101, if you will, about bipolar 1, about schizophrenia, um, just kind of an overview, if you will, so we can have a landing place, so we can have a place to launch off from, if you will. So, uh, I want to start saying that this video is not here to label anyone or scare anyone. I would never want to do that. I don't want to do that. It's here to explain. And a lot of people will hear the words like bipolar or schizophrenia and immediately think of stereotypes, movies, or things they've been told that aren't true. One of the things that has held me back from telling people what my mental illness is specifically that. Every time you hear of somebody who's bipolar, it's like, oh, they were bipolar. Oh, no wonder that happened. That was bound to happen. You know, that person just, yeah, that's totally why. I'm never in the middle of the screen on my channel. I don't know. And that's why. It's because they were bipolar and or schizophrenic. And it really, really irritates me because it's literally like people are taking something and just blanketing it over everyone who has that mental illness. I can't even explain to you guys what that feels like. It would literally be like, well, people with brown hair, oh, no wonder. Yeah, no wonder. Was it with somebody that had brown hair? No wonder. Right. Or actually, wait, it would be more fitting to say, was it someone who was blonde? Oh, yeah, that makes sense because blondes make up less of the population than brunettes. So if there was a lot of blonde people out there doing things and something happened, this is causing me stress just to talk about it. It's like, oh, were they blonde? Oh, no wonder. And then if you see a blonde person, it's like, oh my gosh, stay away from that person. They're blonde. Now, you don't know to stay away from me because I seem normal, for the most part. If you watch my videos, if you go back and you watch all of my videos, you'll see that there's definitely something wrong overall, but you just can't quite pinpoint it. It's like, does she have a bad memory? Does she have, like, is she developing dementia? Does she have Parkinson's? Like, what? There's something off with her, but I can't tell what it is. So, so from my perspective, these conditions aren't just diagnoses. They're real experiences that completely affect how someone thinks and feels and moves through the world. So I move extremely careful through this life of mine. I'm very aware of the fact that I am bipolar. I'm very aware of the fact that I can be awkward. I'm very aware of the fact that I can be just set off like that. And I have to be very careful. So I hide it as much as I possibly can. It's hard to, but I can do it for the most part. If you know me, you know. But if you don't know me, you wouldn't have any idea that I had bipolar. I went through my entire life No one knew I was bipolar until now, until the last couple of years. Yeah, no one knew. They just thought I was kind of quirky, thought I was the life of the party, thought, oh, she's sick? Oh, no. Well, I might have been, but most of the time I was depressed. So mental illness also doesn't look the same for everyone. I wrote some notes right here. So two people can have the same diagnosis and live completely different lives. And that's what I'm getting at, right? With the people out there doing stuff and not me. And what I'm sharing today is meant to educate, reduce stigma, and help people understand what these conditions can actually involve. So bipolar 1 diagnosis, common symptoms. Now, there's a bunch of different bipolar. So there's bipolar 1, bipolar 2, and then there's hypomania, and then I think there's one underneath that as well. So unfortunately, bipolar, well, let me just explain it to you. So bipolar 1 mainly is defined by manic episodes, which can be intense and disruptive. Depression often follows, but the mania is what separates bipolar 1 from the other types. So bipolar 1, you are more manic than depressed. So you have a lot more bouts of mania than you do depression. And that's why for so many years I wasn't diagnosed, because the only time I would go to the doctor was when I felt depressed and I thought I was suffering from depression. Why would I go to the doctor when I felt great, when I was like getting a lot of stuff done and I felt awesome and, I was superhuman powers. I didn't need sleep. I didn't need to, I slept, okay? Like, what I mean is, like, I could literally go for, 18, 20, 22 hours and just be still going. And my husband is literally like, where am I? What's happening? Like, I'm, So bipolar 2, you have more depressive stages than mania. But you have mania, but it's hypomania. So you don't have the highest highs, but you tend to stay kind of down here. And then the other one, I'm not really actually sure about. I'm not really educated in that. But my mania is really bad and it will last for months. Months. And you're like, what do you mean it lasts for months? Like what, 24 hours, 7 days a week, you'd be dead. Excuse me, it doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. Mm-mm. I will be manic. So I will be manic for, say, 3 months and then just crash. So what I mean by that is, do I sleep? Yeah, not really well. And I am just flying, zipping around all over the place. I guess really it's kind of, I rapid cycle. So rapid cycling, I'm going to talk about that for a minute real quick. So rapid cycling, I also have that, which is where I can have mania and depression and normalcy all within a day or even an hour. And then it just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. And so I think when I say I'm manic for like 3 months, it's more like I'm rapid cycling for 3 months. The mania will last for a week, 2 weeks, where I am just, I don't even know. I'd have to ask my husband. Because, you guys, the reason why I'm starting to document this is I'm getting worse. And it's to the point where I'm scared and I don't know like how much longer my brain's going to be here. I know that's like super dramatic, but I'm serious. Like, I'm struggling. So, let's talk about manic symptoms. Again, I wrote notes. Feeling extremely energized or weird, even without sleep. going days with little to no sleep and still feeling powerful or unstoppable. And trust me, you are Superman or Wonder Woman or whatever. Literally. If there was ever an actual superpower, it would be being bipolar 1. Bipolar 1 is literally a superpower, because you're not on drugs. A lot of the people who can do the types of things that people who are bipolar can do are on drugs. No, people who are bipolar aren't on drugs. Well, technically we are, because we're taking medication for the bipolar. But the METH and the C and the H and the F, all those drugs, we can do those things without being on those and kick butt. I mean, kick butt. There's a reason why I got straight A's, 4.0s, 23 credits a quarter, 4.0, 2 jobs. No, 3. I had 3 jobs. 2 jobs. I mean, I can do it all. I can do it all. When I'm manic, I can do it all. Racing thoughts or feelings like your mind is moving faster than your mouth. Absolutely. Talking very fast or jumping between topics. Inflated confidence or feeling invincible. Absolutely guilty of that. Making risky decisions, spending sprees, impulsive choices, unsafe behavior. So mine is spending sprees. Big time spending sprees, which is also an impulsive choice. Increased creativity or productivity that can become overwhelming. So I always put I always put goals in front of myself that are unobtainable, but still I can do them. And people are just like, how are you doing this? I don't know. People joke that my dog is like diamond painting for me. Irritability or agitation when slowed down or questioned. Yes. Feeling like you have a special purpose or ability. Absolutely. Yeah. And I know that sounds weird, but it's true. Like, I feel like, well, I don't know how much of that I want to share, but so I was listening to music, just to give you an example. I was listening to music from the 70s today, and I'm like, what's wrong with this song? And every song it was like this. I'm like, what's wrong with this song? What is it? It's kind of off. It sounded like it was slowed down. And I was like, did they slow this? This song used to not be this slow. Like, I think they slowed it down. My brain is going so fast that everyone else seems to be moving in slow motion, and it drives me nuts. I also do feel like I have a special purpose, and I do have insight and special abilities. I'm not going to go too much into that, but it is weird. It's a weird feeling. So now on the other side, the depressive symptoms, which are also often present. Okay, so it's not like I'm manic all the time, but I'm manic more than I am depressed. And then there's a normalcy phase, but it's not. It's like thank God I'm in between the two right now, but it's gonna happen here soon, and I don't know which way I'm gonna go. Deep sadness or emotional numbness, extreme fatigue or lack of motivation, difficulty getting out of bed or completing basic tasks, feeling of worthlessness or guilt, loss of interest in things once enjoyed, and that happens to me all the time. Like right now, I can hear somebody walking on my front porch. She doesn't hear it. Coco is sitting in my lap, but she is looking at the cameras, but I can clearly hear somebody walking on my front porch. Now, I have cameras, and I'm looking at the cameras, and there's nobody walking on my front porch. So that has to do with psychosis, and that's coming up. So the depressive symptoms, I think a lot of you guys are familiar with the depressive symptoms. I know depression is very prevalent in this country. Um, it's so sad. Um, you guys, our food is so tainted with chemicals and with, let's face it, vaccines, medications, hormones, all that kind of stuff. And then on top of that, it's like, oh, you're sad, here, take a pill. You know, I feel like with depression is a real thing. It is. Depression is a real thing. I'm not talking about bipolar depression right now. I'm talking about actual depression. It is a real thing. And again, I don't feel like telling somebody who's depressed, well, just go out and walk. Why don't you go outside? Why don't you go do something? No. But we really are on a kick of medication here. Now, if I wasn't on my medication, I would not be here. I would not be here. But unfortunately, I am on 7 different medications, and those affect your organs, those affect your brain, those affect, obviously, it affects people who have bipolar or schizophrenia have a 15 to 20 year life, years of life taken off of your expectancy. So simply by having it, and it's not from, it's just it's this right here. So now schizophrenia. Now we're going to schizophrenia, okay? Common symptoms of schizophrenia are how someone, so schizophrenia kind of affects how someone perceives kind of somebody's intellect or character, right? Because it's like, oh my gosh, you're schizophrenic. Like when I say the word bipolar, and then when I say the word schizophrenia, what do you feel when I say that? What's your first, what's your feeling? I can tell you mine. My feeling is like, I don't want to be around that person. Like I don't want to be around them. I can't trust them. This is like, right? It's such a scary word. It's become such a scary word. So typically symptoms of schizophrenia fall into kind of 2 categories, okay? So there's positive symptoms, which are kind of like added experiences. Okay, so that would be hearing voices or sounds that others don't hear, seeing things that aren't there, strong beliefs that don't align with reality, so delusions, paranoia or feeling watched, followed, or targeted, and disorganized or hard to follow speech. And that is me. You're like, no, I can totally understand what you're saying. Well, not if you were here all the time, you wouldn't. Most of the time, my husband's just like, what? I will start a sentence, stop, go to another sentence, stop there, and then go back to the first sentence and start to finish that one, and then start a third sentence, but only do the end of that sentence. Because my brain is just, I can't snap my fingers fast enough. My brain is going so fast. It's going so fast. There's all these thoughts going through my head, and I'm trying so desperately to talk to him. And it's like, he's just like, what? I'm like, it's very disorganized. And then there's the negative symptoms, which are kind of like loss of function. That's lack of emotional expression or flat affect. I have that. Withdrawal from friends, family, or society. I definitely have that. Loss of motivation or interest of life. I have that. Difficulty speaking or responding, neglecting self-care or hygiene. I have all of those except for kind of that, like that last one. I mean, I don't get my hair cut, but I don't like getting my hair cut. That's not a lack of, I mean, I shower and wear clean clothes all the time. I don't wear makeup, but that's not because I'm like, I don't want to put makeup on today. It's literally, I just don't wear makeup. So Anyway, so here's kind of, remember, I'm starting again from the beginning. I'm trying to do kind of a launching off point so we can come back to this video and go, wait, what are the symptoms? Wait, what are the, between the two? What are the distinctive things between the two, bipolar and schizophrenia? We can come back to this video, we meaning me too, and hopefully go, okay, wait, I can refer back to this. Okay, now I've kind of got a base. Let's start from there and let's move forward, and I can go forward with you guys with more things. And I will try so hard to start from the beginning, which is really difficult, but I will try really hard. So from my point of view, the hardest part about both of these conditions isn't always the symptoms themselves. It's how misunderstood they are. People assume danger, weakness, or incapability, when in reality, many people with these diagnoses are just trying to live, heal, and be understood by everyone else. I really feel like education matters, and unfortunately, a lot of family members will not educate themselves. So if you are the person that is suffering from this mental illness and you have family members and you're like, hey, could you just watch this video with me? Hey, this is what I'm going through. Hey, this is how it is. And they're not willing to watch it. You're kind of screwed. I mean, you really are. You need to find other ways. You need to find a friend. You need to find a support group, a therapist, somebody who will help you, because most family members even won't even look it up. They won't even look it up because it's like, I don't want to deal with that. I think they don't want to believe it's true. I think they want to just think that you're a bad person. You're just a bad person. It's just easier to believe that you're a bad person rather than, oh my gosh, you have a mental illness. What if I get it? It's almost like if I touch you, you're going to get it. Like it's contagious or something. Also, compassion matters so much. If people could just be compassionate and I've said this before, if somebody had a broken leg, you would take them dinner. You would take them dinner and ice packs. You would drive them to their doctor's appointments. Even a neighbor, if they didn't have anybody, you would be like, let me make you dinner. I'm not saying all the time, but I'm just saying, like, if somebody you knew who broke their leg, because breaking your leg, you're going to heal from that. So it's going to be short term, right? But somebody who breaks their leg, you're going to do that type of thing for them. But for me, nobody's going to do that for me. Nobody's going to do that for me. No, why? Why would they do that for me? There's nothing wrong with you. What are you talking about? Type of a thing. And listening to real experiences matters the most. It really does. That's what matters the most. When I say there's somebody upstairs and I saw them, when I'm standing out on the back porch, calling my husband at work and screaming, there's somebody in the house, they're upstairs, I heard them, and I went to the bottom of the stairs and I saw them peeking around the corner from our bedroom. Now, this is just one experience that I'm choosing to share. We had pit bulls at the time. We had 2 pit bulls. And they're like, la, 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 la. Because there's nobody here. There was nobody here. So he stayed on the phone with me on FaceTime while I went upstairs, walked around the entire house, checked all of the closets, and made sure everything was okay. That's compassion. That's listening. That's understanding. That's what people like me need. And that's also why I feel like I have some schizophrenic symptoms. A lot. which scares me because that's what my dad suffers from, schizophrenia. And why does it, you guys have gained so much weight. I don't need to worry about that right now. I really don't. It's okay. Who am I trying to impress, right? I don't know why I'm so worried about being labeled schizophrenic. I don't want to. I would rather just be bipolar. So I'm going to tell it to you guys straight. Here's how it goes. As far as like mental illnesses go, here's how it goes. So you have schizophrenia is the top worst. Like you want to be, that's my dishwasher. That's the worst you could be is schizophrenic. Right below that is bipolar 1. Right below that. But now what they're finding is bipolar 1 and schizophrenia are kind of like this. They might not even be two separate things. They might be the same thing. And that's what I'm afraid of. One more thing I'll share with you is when I lay down to go to sleep, when I lay down, and this happens every single night, do you remember the radio dials that we used to have, the stereos, you would turn the dial? That's what it sounds like when I'm going to sleep. And I can hear like singing. I can hear like talking way in the background. I can't quite hear what they're saying, but I can hear it and it'll change. Or I can hear like a man's voice or a woman's voice. And here's the thing that really like drives me absolutely nuts is what my psychiatrist will say is, are the voices telling you to hurt yourself? No. Oh, okay. Okay. We're good then. Okay. Not we're good, but like, woman, like, did you just hear what I said? There's people in my house. There's people on my front porch, but there's not people in my house and there's not people on my front porch. And I hear voices and I see things and it's, well, but are they telling you to hurt yourself? I don't know what they're saying, woman. I don't know what they're saying, but they're saying something. So anyway, let's leave it here for now. I kind of like with that last video, and I wanted to kind of let's level the playing field and start off with something that is explainable and understandable, and then we can have a jumping off point. So thank you for listening to me. If you have a mental illness and suffer from a mental illness, please feel free to comment down below. If you feel like you would like to add something or subtract something from what I've said, that's great. Now, I am going to say this because I have been a part, this is really important. I have been a part of like a bipolar, like I've been part of like a mental health community, right? Where like people have chats and stuff like that. I'm not getting into that on this channel. I am not going to solve people's problems. I am not going to be a doctor for people. I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to diagnose anybody. But here's what's not going to happen on this channel. What's not going to happen on this channel is I'm not going to have a bunch of people coming on here and saying, you know, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. And what I mean by that is that's fine. You can come on here and be like, I suffer and it's horrible and this is my story and it's an absolute nightmare. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But what I found with being in those mental health communities is it was like victim mentality. That is not going to happen on this channel, because let me tell you what, I am anything but a victim. I am anything but a victim in this situation. I have grabbed the bull by its horns, okay? Am I in control? No. But I'll be damned if I'm going to be a victim in this situation. I'm going to do everything I can possibly do to not be a victim. So I welcome you to this channel. I'm so happy that you're here. I would love to hear your story if you're willing to share it. If not, that's fine. Just be an observer, you know, just kind of lurk, and that's fine. But We're not going to wallow. We're not going to sit and wallow in this mud that we're in. Okay? We can get out of it. We can get out of this mud at times. And if you think that I'm putting somebody down by saying that, you're in the wrong space. You need to go to a chat where you can be a victim, because I'm not a victim, and I am. Let me put it this way. This was almost my last year on the planet, okay? Put it that way. A few times this year. And I'm not sitting here being a victim. I just want to talk about this. And I want to talk about it in an adult way, and in a way that makes sense, and in a way that's compassionate, in a way that's educational, and that we can all learn from, and that we can be supportive of each other. I'm still going to do the eating though, okay? But we are not going to be victims, because you are not a victim, my friend. You are not a victim of this. You're afflicted with it. I am not bipolar. I have bipolar. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye for now. Bye.